Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the shop. I'm working on Snowball, just kind of finishing up loose ends. I'm doing a lot of that lately, so the video posting is going to be a little irregular, and I'm sorry for that, but it's just kind of that point in the project where I can't really post a video every day or every other day of what I'm doing, because honestly, every day I don't really get a lot done. Some days I get a lot done. Some days I get absolutely nothing done. Anyway, but that's besides the point. What I've been doing today is just, kind of like putting in some of my weather strip and spacing it and finishing some wiring on the gauge cluster and for the indicator light for the front axle disconnect. And I put in the new tubing for the defrost vents, and that is a super pain in the ass. Not at the diverter box, but up on the actual defrost vents. It's like almost impossible to get those cocksuckers on. They just don't want to go on, even with petroleum jelly all over it or silicone spray. The size is too close. It's a very tight fit. So anyway, what I want to show you right now, and if you hadn't guessed, yes, I've already had a couple of beers. I'm working on it. That's what I do in the evenings. I'm American, kiss my ass. So I'm sitting here looking at my dog bones, and changing dog bones is a very common task to have to undertake on an M35 or M44 series truck, no matter what model it is. Unless, of course, you've bobbed it, in which case you've already cut its nuts off, so you don't have to worry about this. I'm sitting here looking at mine, and I can already tell whoever did them, well, it was done in the military just before it was surplused. The technician that did it wrong, and I'm going to show you why. I don't even know who that is that honked at me. I have no idea. If you look at the back side of this bushing here, see the striations and the cracks in the rubber are curved. What that means is that bushing has been under a torque load at rest the entire time it's been installed. And they're all like that. I mean, some are a little more obvious than others. Now, this doesn't just apply to the M35 and the dog bones, okay? This applies to any vehicle, whether it be military or civilian or even some aircraft that have rubber suspension bushings. When you install them, you don't install them suspended in the air and tighten them down and then let the weight of the vehicle down on it. What you want to do is install the components and leave the fasteners loose. Set the vehicle down on the ground, let the suspension bear the weight of the vehicle. Do your best to cycle the suspension a couple of times, jump up and down on it or whatever. Let the jack down really fast, just so the suspension will settle. Then go back and tighten your fasteners. And this, like I said, this goes for dog bones on a 1.5 deuce, or front control arms on a 2-wheel drive 90 Chevy pickup, or a Honda Civic, or a Jeep Cherokee, or a Jeep Wrangler. Anything that has control arms with rubber isolated bushings. You need to let the vehicle down, let the suspension settle where it's going to naturally be, and then tighten the bushings. Otherwise, you've got a torsional load on the bushing. Like your center bolt is tight, and when you set it down, the bushing turns. It gets a torsional load on it when it's sitting at rest, and it keeps that load the entire time. So you're actively degrading the bushing when the vehicle is just sitting there, like the truck is, like the Dodge is over there, just sitting in the yard. That bushing is wearing because you put a torsional load on it that stays there the entire time. It should be that there is no load on that bushing when the vehicle is sitting still, and there's no load, no payload on it. It's not running down the road. Anyway, that is one of the main reasons that aftermarket rubber bushing type, or even Teflon, or not Teflon, but polyurethane type suspension bushings fail prematurely, is because people install them improperly. So you are supposed to do exactly what I said. Now, a lot of people neglect that. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't care. You know, it's not my vehicle. I just want to get it in and out of the shop, or I'm just doing this favor for a friend. I don't care. I'm not gonna take the extra minute or two to do it right. You know, it is so easy just to do it properly. There's no reason not to. The other thing I wanted to cover today is this. You only have 2 upper dog bones on the deuce and a half. There's none on the other side. Now you can put some on there. There is room. You can put extra brackets over there, and you can put 2 more dog bones on that side. They're not necessary. That's why they're not on there from the factory, but you can. But this side is where everybody has a hard time changing the dog bones, because you can't get to these 2 nuts, without taking this spring pack off. And now everybody wants to grind down a socket or try to like bend an extension and all kinds of stupid shit because nobody wants to take the spring pack off. Well, here's the thing, and I'm just going to be honest with and straight up with you here. If it's come time to change your dog bones and you're worried about not wanting to take that leaf spring off because it's a pain in the butt and you've got to take, you know, 4 extra nuts off for the U-bolts, you might as well just go ahead and do it, because if it's time to change the dog bones, it's time to service that suspension trunnion anyway. So you need to take the spring off anyway. It's really not that big a deal, and the U-bolts aren't that expensive. As long as you're there, you might as well just do it. So that's my take on it. I understand everybody has their reasons for trying to take shortcuts, and you know, they don't have time to do this or don't have money to do that or whatever. But the right way to do it is, if you are to that point, just go ahead and pull the spring pack. It's not that big a deal. You don't have to do all kinds of stupid cribbing and all kinds of shit. Look, let me just, and I've tried to explain this to people before, and I'm probably not really going to get it through until I actually do this on this truck and show you guys, but I'm going to try to explain it one more time. You have a center pivot, you have an axle, and you have an axle. And these axles walk this way around that pivot, obviously. So, if you take your tires off, all of them off, you jack up the center trunnion here, get it up off the ground where all of your shit is off the ground, and then you put a jack stand under the back axle as high as you can, and a jack stand under the center as high as you can, and then you put the jack under one axle, and you take your U-bolts loose and you jack this axle up. What's it going to do? It's going to pick that spring pack up off of that center trunnion, and you're not even going to have to pull the spring pack off. It's just going to pick it up enough so you can pull the trunnion cap off, and you can service your bearings and or bushings or whichever you have in there. So that's how you service the trunnion. That really not as much to do with the dog bones, but yeah, people have been asking me that, and it gets on my nerves because it's so hard to explain that if you don't have some kind of visual aid. So guys, I appreciate you watching. I hope this is really helpful for you. I was just kind of sitting here pondering, like, you know, I want to post up a video for my viewers and not really sure what to talk about, so here you go. What my neighbor's chopping up with a chainsaw, hopefully not his wife. Anyway, don't forget to check out our sponsors in the description below. As always, all their information is listed down there. If you need parts, BigMike'sMotorPool.com. If you need paint for your military projects, RapcoParts.com. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.